The Ohio Bobcats recently wrapped up their spring practice after weeks of early mornings, cold weather, and a pro day for the outgoing seniors. Before the Cats break for summer, here are the best sound bites of the spring football season.
Wake up and drink coffee, definitely. Yeah. I gotta wake up, but just we'll throw some heat packs on or come out here a little bit early and start moving around. But sometimes you just can't. Like if it's 20 degrees like it was this morning, it just takes you till a couple periods into practice before you're completely ready. Yeah, we got some new walk-ons and some of the new freshmen like Jordan, or they're not freshmen anymore, but Jordan Reed and Sebastian Smith. They're hopefully they should get some playing time for us this year. And then like some of the walk-ons, number 85 Jordan, he's not many people expect much from a walk-on. I mean they walk on, you don't know what to expect from him. He's come out here and he's picked up the offense. He does exactly what coach wants, and he's doing really well. I mean, it's motivating. We were out here watching, and I remember watching with Beau and Tyler, and we're like, well, we just want to go work out, and we were getting antsy. We want to start doing this. We want to do this stuff, but it's sweet knowing that someone that we played with and we were friends with and stuff like that is getting a chance to go pro, and it makes you happy and look forward to the next year that you have. So you might get the same change.
We've been working hard. We've had a bunch of injuries though, and so we probably haven't got as many reps as we'd like just because of the injuries and stuff. But I mean, the team's working hard, improving, and I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of guys, are gone, and those guys are hard to replace. But the guys we have now are doing great, and then a bunch of the guys that we had playing last year got hurt during spring, so we'll get them back in the fall. So that'll be good. But the line that's in there right now is doing a good job, and they're working hard. So I'm excited. I'm not really sure. It just depends how coach handles it. But I'm not really sure how it's going to work. But he's a good player, so we'll just have to see.
I think the thing that I love about our players is that they love football. So it really doesn't matter. We've had some early morning practices, some cold weather, and they just go about it business as usual. So today was a nice change of pace. Well, for me speaking, just in general of the cornerback room, it creates a very competitive environment. And you have Jamil and Travis coming back. You have young guys that have played last year, and everyone's hungry. So it's been very competitive this spring. And as a coach, you like to see that happen. The toughest thing is when you have to manufacture competition as a coach. And now that there's genuine competition, it just gets everyone in the room better. Well, especially at the defensive back position, all we really have to rely on is our technique. And we're exposed. When you make a mistake, everyone in the stands or on TV sees it. And so to create muscle memory with your technique so it becomes second nature is what I strive for. And so to do that, you have to hound and harp and be meticulous. And I think the guys thought I was a little off my rocker with how detail-oriented I was. But the only way to be successful as a defensive back is to be sound in your technique. And then the playmaking ability that you have as a player takes over. And so that's all I'm trying to build, that base fundamental. Coach Reed did a great job with these guys. It wasn't like they were so far out. I just think my focus is maybe a little different than they're used to. I'm really meticulous. The toughest thing for when you think about a freshman coming in the middle of spring ball is that they're thrown right into the fire. And so I think those guys handled it well. The thing that I like, and DeQuan's playing more nickel than corner now, is that they make a mistake, they do it full speed, which is always good, but then there's not a lot of repeat mistakes. I'm not having to repeat myself. So what that's telling me is they're buying into the coaching. They're trying to absorb it like a sponge, and they're doing a good job from that standpoint. You expect those guys to make some mistakes, but I'm not seeing a lot of the same mistakes over and over again, which sometimes you get with young guys.
I think we've been really well. A lot of the young guys have stepped up and they've had to learn, the playbook quicker than, most people have, but I think they've stepped up to the challenge. And, me and Matt, who we're really the only two who have seen any time outside of the younger guys, so we're trying to just, lead by example. But, Mario and Dante, they're on the sidelines helping out. So I think it's been a good transition. We'll be happy to have them back, but, so far I think it's going all right. Yeah, definitely a good learning experience. I mean, nobody wants to lose 13 guys to season-ending injury, but we finished it how we wanted to with a bowl victory. we wish we could have had 4 of the last 5, we didn't. But we just had to move on and set our goals to a bowl victory. We got lucky getting in the game, and we played our butts off. I think we deserved the win. We stepped up. It's interesting, but it's fun. They're all good guys and they're all hard workers. They want to be the starters just as much as the guys that are out. So they have something to prove. They feel like, so they're out here working their butt off every day just to more and more playing time. They're just out here trying to do the best they can, and I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. Obviously that's the ultimate goal, is to get back to the finals, and it's going to be tough though this year. The West is loaded, and obviously the Heat are playing great. So we just got to take it one series and one game at a time, and if they do that, then I really like our chances. Yeah, it's been a lot different. It's I was talking to my mom and my parents back home, and this is probably the worst year I've had since I've been here, just weather-wise. I don't think it's dragged out this long, and but it's nice just to get out here and get practice out of the way, and whether the weather's good or bad. So it hadn't been too bad. Yeah, it's different, but at the same time, you just got to understand the situation, and just kind of encourage those guys each day, because every single one of them is new, and I haven't seen that many reps live, and so you just got to take it a day at a time, and understand that it's just spring. It's not the season yet, and I think those guys understand that. They're out here to get better and to learn the offense, and to build that experience. Yeah, I actually plan to go out to California for a week or two to train with George Whitfield. He's a quarterback guru that's trained the likes of Matt Barkley, Landry Jones, Cam Newton, and I think Taj Boyd and Aaron Murray out there right now. So I'm going to try and go out there for a week or two, and get with him and try and improve my game.